Burford just out there participating in what he did?
Yeah. We're just trying to decide whether to get surgery on it or not. You know, it's, I know how you guys are with timetables, but I'm guessing around 3 weeks.
How has Dominic Pooney done in his opportunity to get some of those first-team reps?
He's done a real good job. You know, we haven't had pads on yet, which is always a challenge for guys, especially in protection. But you know, he's stepped in there, got more reps, and I've been excited about him.
We've seen Nick Zakel get a lot more featured time at center as well. Has he, just larger picture over the couple of years, has he made a lot of progress?
Yeah, he is, and they're all battling for those inside spots. And anytime, you know, especially when you lose guys in there, you're not having Burford, Feliciano's missed a little bit of time. You got to have guys, and Brindle, we give some time off. He's not out there every single day. So guys got to be able to back up. They got to be able to do center. They got to be able to do guard, and be able to know all three.
How's Bosa looking, and then how do you like the depth at defensive end?
And he's looked like Nick, so that's pretty good. And the depth's been great. I've been real excited about it so far. Seems like we got great depth. Seems like we're improving. But it's also 4 days in too, and excited to get pads on Monday.
Is pads basically the start point? To
Yeah,
that?
pretty much. I mean, you try not to make big judgments as a coach until the pads get on, because things get a lot realer when that happens.
What have you seen from Leonard Floyd since he's been in the building?
That he seems just like the guy I've always gone against. Same type of body, same type of athlete. Getting to know as a person. He's like advertised. I mean, the guy loves football. He's got a hell of a motor. Real fun to be around.
How has Beal progressed from year one to year two? Has he bulked up a little bit, or?
Yeah, I think he has a little bit. You know, I think he made some big steps towards the end of last year, and he's helped us out in special teams. He's trying to be a part of our group and get in that rotation as a rusher and get better in the run game. But I've been excited about Robert. He had a good offseason. He's been good in these 4 days, and we'll see how he goes.
How much did they just day off for Hargrave?
Yes. Yeah, planned day off.
Logan Thomas, I think year 3 or 4 in the NFL, he went from quarterback to tight end. He never played tight end ever. I guess how impressive is it to make that pretty rare transition in the NFL?
Yeah, I think it's real impressive. I mean, I remember studying him as a quarterback coming out, and he was one of the better throwers I thought in the draft. So, you know, he was I never got to work with him or anything, but I just knew he was a real talented quarterback, and he was a good runner, had a good arm, and then someone at some time moved him to tight end, and he's got the perfect body to play that too, and he's had a hell of a career. So felt real fortunate for us to get him here in camp, and it's a different offense for him, so he's got a lot on his plate, getting here late in OTAs and stuff, but he's picking it up, and I think he'll get better and better each day.
Dobbs had a nice day today. Where is he in kind of knowing the offense and just his learning your system?
I mean, I think he knows it mentally. It's just about going through the reps and the situations and getting a feel for the rhythm of it, especially with this D-line in front of him on every play. That's always a challenge of it. You want to get a feel of the offense and everything, but don't expect people to be blocking very well with the second and third group, and especially when you don't have pads on. So that's always the biggest challenge for quarterbacks in training camp, especially when you're going with 2s or 3s. But I think Dobbs done a hell of a job for us so far.
Kyle, we've seen Willis make some nice plays. How's he progressing in year 2?
I've been excited with him. I mean, still only 4 days in, but showed a couple clips yesterday of him doing a hell of a job in the run game. I mean, you guys noticed it in the pass game, and see it the same way, and hopefully he'll keep taking steps forward.
Chris Scherzer was talking about one-on-ones and how sometimes it's frustrating because we'll write stuff about who's winning them, and guys are trying to work on things. I know it's different offensive line versus receivers, but what do you make of one-on-ones when those start next week?
It's good work for people. I mean, but it's not one-on-ones are hard for everybody. You know, it doesn't feel quite the same when it's 11 on 11 out there. When you're just in a one-on-one battle, a guy's going to eventually win. And very rarely does someone just get stoned and completely punked in a one-on-one drill. So it always looks like you eventually win, but it's really good work for those guys. I mean, it's the reps they need with their hands, the speed of getting off. It's tough when you don't have pads on because it's when there's not a threat of a bull rush and things like that, or if they are bull rushing and you don't have pads, it makes it a lot tougher. So again, I take it more, we won't do that until we have pads. That's one of my favorite things about Monday. We get pads on and we get to watch those guys, and sometimes in team drills and stuff, and someone can have a bunch of catches or things like that, or they can get to the quarterback because of some pressures and stuff, and you don't know if it's zone, you don't know what the situation is, but when it's one-on-one, you can't hide, and you got to really evaluate.
It seems like in the past, you guys have had like one, if you have a young safety coming up, you always have kind of a veteran guy who's been around and has a lot of experience. How do you feel about the safety position as it is right now with Jair and either Hufanga or Odom or whomever? Would you guys look into potentially adding a veteran guy later?
I mean, I feel great about our safeties right now. I mean, it'll be real exciting to get Huff back here, and I think in a week or two. But I think him not being in there, I mean, Gio is really taking advantage of his reps. I think he's playing as good as he's played at the safety level. Jair just getting that experience last year, it's helped him out so much. We've got a number of young guys in here which are competing hard, and we do have some older vets here with a lot of knowledge who have played some football, guys like Eric Harris and stuff like that. So we got a good group. I don't rule out anything as it goes. You never know how it'll play out, but I feel good about our group, what we got right now.
Does Pearsall have a chance for Monday?
Yes, he does. It's not guaranteed, but he has a chance.
A week or two for Huff to return to practice?
I think he's going to get checked up when we go down to LA and scrimmage, and I think down there is where we kind of we're expecting around that time.
A question from a colleague about your recollections about Andre Johnson in Houston. What do you remember most about him?
One of my favorite players I've ever coached, one of my favorite people I've ever coached. I was a 26-year-old receiver coach. That was my first position job. I was a QC at Tampa and then went there as a receiver coach and had Andre and Eric Molds and Kevin Walter and David Anderson and Jacoby Jones, rest in peace. But Andre was such a stud. One of the most, him and Julio are the two most talented receivers I've ever been around. And Andre is probably the hardest worker I've ever been around, and not just receiver. He was always in shape, always knew how to work, never took one play off, never turned anything down in the run game. Was a true stud and true Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Any update on Trent or Ayuk? Does Ayuk go to meetings?
Yeah, he goes to everything except practice. But yeah, and no updates on either.
How's his sore back and neck, Kyle?
You'd have to ask him. Thanks, guys.